Day 5 of Eurovision Song Contest 2021. Time for the first semi-finalists to return to the stage for their second rehearsals. Malta aren't taking part today as they're scheduled for tomorrow. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Will, Willovision Online, and let's get started with Lithuania. What a way to start the day with the Roop and Discotheque. They had a relatively good first rehearsal on Saturday, and this morning they've built on that. They bring the party, the colour, the moves to the stage, and it's wonderful to see. It's a great opener for the first semi-final. When you see these, you definitely know Eurovision is well and truly back. I think vocally, each time they ran through it, it was spot on. So this is a definite qualifier as far as I'm concerned, and it looks fantastic. Because the amount of countries that have to be gotten through, these rehearsals move on really quickly. And so the Roop were only off stage for a few moments, and Slovenia was on, Anna and Amen. Her vocals are really strong this morning. She's still getting used to that stage, and you can tell that she's looking for her cameras, looking for her marks, but her confidence builds each time she runs it through. We saw it 3 times, and on the 3rd time, while she missed her mark at the end on the satellite stage, she was doing a really good job. I love that when she's moving from the main stage to the satellite stage across the walkway, that she encourages that choir that are built into the track to sing it out. Could be in trouble with this placing in this semi-final, but she's certainly on the right track. For Russia, I think that she's actually gotten even better from Saturday to today. The embroidered red jumpsuit of the first rehearsal has been switched for one more in keeping with the one she wore in the Russian final. Still red, still vibrant, but without that embellishment. Her 4 impressive backing singers are now wearing gold. They were just in casual wear on Saturday. They've now upped it to gold. The visuals on the back LED have been reworked, and I think they work even better this time. She's sounding really strong. She's so confident. I think Russia are in with a really good chance this time. From his decent start on Saturday, Tusse returned to the stage for his second rehearsal. There were a few camera issues where the Steadicam operator isn't getting to his mark fast enough as the cuts happen, but aside from that, I think they put in a really strong performance today. I would say my favourite part of the Swedish staging is the inclusion of the backup dancers on the back screen marching forward. From the angle that is captured by the cameras, it's really impactful on the screens. Montaigne, oh Montaigne. Unfortunately, Australia remain at home, but the live on tape performance will be aired on Tuesday night in the first semi-final as their performance to try and get into that final. They've been there every time, and Montaigne will be trying to hold that record and qualify for the final. These photos show a glimpse of the performance that will be seen. It was shown on the big screen in the arena for anyone who was there this morning. Today's the first day that press and delegation have been able to go in and to view these second rehearsals. Vasil for North Macedonia, and here I stand. He was really giving us what his voice can do today. He wasn't holding back like he was on Saturday, when he didn't really have to put in that effort. It was more about technical blocking with the cameras and getting things in order. The on-chest light or heart ball effect on the screen worked really well this time. There's also, which I didn't notice on Saturday, a moment where he puts his hand out, a magical golden dust rises, but that worked really nicely today. The theatrics and the mirrored vest are still being tested for best shots and right angles for the camera. No doubt he has the best voice of this year's song contest. And the applause that came from inside the Ahoy from those who were in and watching was rapturous for the first time and even louder for the second. I'm wishing him well. Go on, Vasil. To my home nation Ireland now, Lesley Roy and Maps. Saturday, I have to admit, It all seemed a bit chaotic. Yes, there is a lot to do in this performance, but it just wasn't really hitting those marks on Saturday, and it only got to be rehearsed twice, I believe. Today was a different story. From the 3 performances that were shown, I think it got better each time. Lesley is in the right places at the right time. The moves that she needs to do, the positioning that she needs to be in, it's all starting to work, and I'm very excited about this. Her voice was strong during each of the performances, and this will stand to her as we get closer to next week's live show. The photos really do show how much props play a part in this production. But now that they've started to see the way ahead, I'm really, really hopeful for Ireland. I even had goosebumps. Elena Tsagkrinou for Cyprus and El Diablo. They came into it really strong on Saturday, and today they continued. It's refined, it's looking really good on screen. The staging, the costumes, it's all really working. Her confidence is really coming through. It's almost like she exudes it. Her vocals are really good, and each time they're consistent. As the photos show, the reds, the vibrancy, and the message of El Diablo sees Cyprus following what's expected to be a continuation of the formula that was working for them in Lisbon and in Tel Aviv. Our Fallen Angel, Tix for Norway. This performance has translated really well from Melody Grand Prix to the stage in Rotterdam. He had 6 of his fallen dark angels in that performance. It's 4 now. Overall, I think they're doing really well with this. He sounds really vocally strong. I believed, and it was my opinion, that in the national shows in Norway, he relied heavily on the vocals that were built into the track. But here, he doesn't really have that option, and he is sounding really good. My favourite shot of this performance is an overhead where you get to see Tix and his 4 accompanying backing singers, dancers, almost like you're looking down from heaven. Whatever's happened from Saturday to now, I've found myself liking Croatia's entry even more. Something seems to have clicked here. It definitely needed some improvement and some change, but it looks like that's been done, and what they produced today for the run-throughs of the second rehearsal are far better than what we're seeing on Saturday. The performance takes place on the walkway with the transparent LED screen behind, and her timings today were spot on, as she has to move in sync with red and blue light effects that move when she does. They were far from perfect on Saturday, but today they've really come in line. Not forgetting Albina's dancing, fancy. I'm really surprised, but I'm thrilled for them, and this certainly is looking stronger. I was really impressed with Belgium on Saturday, and I'm as impressed today as Hooverphonic returned for their second rehearsal. Takeaways from it were that I've noticed more flashing lights on the stage floor than I had on Saturday. Perhaps that was just I was looking at more finer details now. The setup remains the same with the band on stage and Gique in the middle. She's really fantastic. About their performance since Saturday, I do think that this is really cinematic. A really nice effect that's used just before the end of the song. A long zoom pan back on the dark Ahoy with just the band to be seen on the centre stage, and then it cuts straight back to her and the song is over. A really nice touch and a bit of a surprise ending. I'm very enamoured by the band, and I would love to see them in the final, so fingers crossed. Croatia aren't the only ones who have brought change, as Israel are looking like a completely different act today. Alene is back, and she seems like she's really got it together now. The first notable change is her headdress. Placed on her head by one of her backing dancers on the first rehearsal, she's now wearing it, and it looks like it's been blinged up. As there is a costume reveal and change during this performance, the camera shots were a lot better today in terms of cutting away in time and then cutting back for the reveal. When it came to the whistle notes on the first run through that I saw, She missed the first one, and you could see in her face that she was annoyed by that. But the second one she nailed. And in the second run, there were no issues. She got them both. My guess is that the first day nerves have gone, and now that we're on to the second rehearsals and getting closer to the show, that the approach is really ramped up. Another who changed so much from the first rehearsal is ROXEN for Romania with Amnesia. I believe that she was overcome with emotion during the first rehearsals, and that was an explanation as to why it didn't seem to be working and she did seem to be overwhelmed. But today, she was so much better and really upped her game. Just some things that I noted during the performance. There's a moment when she's laying upon the stage floor and she's dragged by one arm across the stage by one of her dancers. There are some clicks that are heard on the microphone, which obviously isn't ideal. So that may be something they'll be looking to improve on. For the last run of the day, they used smoke for a very atmospheric effect, but at times it seemed like it was completely dominating the stage, and we nearly had a Nina Sublati 2015 moment. I can see why they would have tried it, because in using it, her dancers are able to remain beneath it, which can certainly add to the storytelling and the drama of this piece. I was really impressed by ROXEN and how improved she was. This is certainly looking so much better than it did on the first rehearsal. So Mata Hari for Efendi, a dress change today. I believe it was rumoured, it was said that this was going to happen, where she was a bit more covered up in the initial performance. She's now wearing a dress that has cutouts on the ribs. I think that the camera shots have been improved on this, and it's looking better on this second day. For the moment of the dance move where she and her backing dancers line up and lay on each other's backs, there was the use of a focus effect, which I thought was really clever. Her hair today was also up in an Ariana Grande style pony. I think that the Land of Fire is certainly knocking on the door of the grand final. Earlier this afternoon, we had a news update to say that Katerina of Go A had been feeling unwell this morning, has had a COVID-19 test, and would, as a precaution, not be attending this afternoon's rehearsal. So who did they get in her place? It looks like her official stand-in, who had been working in the Ahoy in the last number of weeks ahead of the rehearsals, because she had every single word, she was standing in the right place, and she knew all the moves. There isn't much more I can say around this performance, as it was pretty spot on Saturday, and now today, without Katerina, everything else was right, but unfortunately she wasn't there. But props to the stand-in, who even wore a green jacket in an ode to Katerina's costume. So we've almost seen all of the entries for semi-final 1. Malta will be coming up tomorrow as we head into semi-final 2, and the first appearance of the Big Five and hosts the Netherlands on that Rotterdam stage. If you liked the video, please do like, subscribe to my channel. I'm putting this out there into the world, and I'm hoping that someone is enjoying it as much as I am making it. Thanks for watching. More Eurovision Song Contest tomorrow.